Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'll be talking about the strength standards for the 6 best exercises: the bench press, squat, deadlift, pull-ups, overhead press, and the barbell row. Let's get into it. So, we have 6 stages here: the noob, the beginner, the intermediate, advanced, elite, and the monster. Let's start off with the noob. So for the noob category in the bench press, we have 45 to 100 pounds, 75 to 100 pounds for the squat, for the deadlift, 100 to 135 pounds, overhead press, 45 to 60 pounds, barbell row, 45 to 60 pounds as well, and then pull-ups 1 assisted. You may think that these standards for the noob category are a bit low, but this is just the median for what I think is good for the noob category. The noob category is a bit difficult to decipher because they're not really a beginner, they're just starting out in the gym like the first few weeks, months. So this would be some good goals to have for your first weeks or first months. If you can hit these standards in your first few weeks, then you should be good to go. Now let's get on to the beginner category. So here we are for the beginner strength standards. For a bench press, a 1 times body weight bench. For the squat, a 1.25 body weight bench. For the deadlift, a 1.5 times body weight deadlift. For the overhead press, which you can usually do less weight than the bench press, would be half your body weight. And then for the barbell row, a little bit more than that, so 60% of your body weight. And then pull-ups, if you can do 2 to 7, you're in a great zone for this range. And once you hit 7, you can then progress to the intermediate stage. Also, keep in mind that these standards are skewed towards lower body weights. So if you're at a very high body weight, let's say 300 pounds, take this with a grain of salt. You should subtract the body weight by like a quarter. So let's say for the bench press, it will be 0.5 times body weight. Now let's get on for the intermediate. So for the bench press, a good range to shoot for would be 1.25 to 1.5 times your body weight. For the squat, a 1.5 to a 2 times body weight squat. For the deadlift, 1.75 to a 2.5 body weight deadlift. For the overhead press, if you can get a 1 times body weight overhead press, that will be a very good standard to shoot for. If you can hit this, then you should be in a good range for the bench press right here, and vice versa. For the barbell row, you should have a 1.2 times barbell row. And for the pull-ups, if you're in the 7 to 12 range, you're doing great. Also keep in mind one more thing that I added. These are the time frames that you should be hitting these goals. So for a noob, you would be training only a few weeks to be a noob. For a beginner, that would be 3 to 12 months. If you're still in the beginner zone and you've been training for 3 years, then you need to very quickly, you need to get back up. Because that means you've been dilly-dallying around in the gym, sunshines and rainbows, you weren't doing anything in there. So it's time to train harder, speed up. Also, watch until the end so that I explain how to progress at these levels for your strength gains. Now, let's get into the advanced zone. For the bench press, having a 1.5 to a 2 times body weight bench, a 2 to a 2.5 times body weight squat, a 2.5 to 3 times deadlift, a 1.25 to 1.5 times overhead press, which is extremely tough to do, a barbell row, 1.2 to 1.5 times body weight. And for pull-ups, if you're doing 12 to 18 in 3 to 6 years of your lifting career, then you're doing good. You're doing good. Depending on your goals, this may be higher, this may be lower. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, let's get into the elite standards. I took a quick break there, now we're back. So the elite standards. The bench press, 2 to 3 times body weight bench, a 2.5 to 3.5 times body weight squat, a 3 to 4 times body weight deadlift, 1.5 to a 2 times overhead press, 1.5 to 1.75 barbell row, and 18 to 25 pull-ups is a good range for the elite category. Now, let's get on to the monster category. So here are my final standards for the monster category. For the bench press, a 3 times body weight bench or above, a squat 3.5 times body weight or above, deadlift 4 times or above, for the overhead press 2 times or above, for the barbell row 1.75 or above, and for the pull-ups 25 or above. For the newbie lifters, I would have 3 tips for you. Number 1, progressively overload. Number 2, stay consistent with the gym. Never stop going. If you miss a day, that's momentum lost that you have to regain back. And number 3, what was number 3? I guess that's about it. Now for the beginner category. I also have 3 tips for the beginner category. Number 1, focus on calisthenics and hypertrophy. If you focus on calisthenics and hypertrophy, your strength will automatically go up since bigger muscle is a stronger muscle. Number 2, focus on technique. If you focus on technique, then you would be able to push stronger loads, push more, and be able to progressively overload in the gym. Number 3, it would be to progressively overload, just like I said for the noob category. Now for the intermediate lifters. I only have 1 tip for you guys. If you guys are doing everything that I outlined for the noob and the beginner category, I would suggest instead of doing linear progression, focus on different adaptations throughout your week. So at this intermediate stage, your newbie gains are gone. So you can't linearly progress like you usually did. Instead, I would suggest you to do 1 light day, 1 heavy day, and 1 moderate day. So for a light day, you would do 15 reps and above. For the moderate day, like 6 to 12. And then for your heavy day, I would do 1 to 5 reps on most to all of your exercises on that day. This way, you have different adaptations, 1 for muscle gain, 1 for strength gain, and that could break your plateaus that you have. Many people are stuck in this stage when they shouldn't be. They need to focus on, instead of having that linear progression, having that different adaptations, and being able to progress in different ways. I would have 1 tip for you advanced people out there. Have different training blocks throughout the year. So that means, during the first season, January, February, March, you would do a hypertrophy block. So 3 months of hypertrophy, and then you would go back to doing 3 months of strength training, and then you flip-flop around these 3. So you could do this with hypertrophy, strength training, calisthenics, whatever you want as that block, alright? Now, for you elite people and monster people, I can't really give you advice on this one. You guys just have to keep being patient and keep doing what you're doing since you already got to this elite stage. Also, here's a big screenshot if you want to take a picture of it. Here it is. 3, 2, 1.